Welcome guys back to another video in the channel. Today we are doing the preview for the final Premier League game of the season, Arsenal versus Watford. This is a pretty dead game for Arsenal, but for Watford there is a lot hinging on this because, you know, their Premier League lives are on stake. Obviously Arsenal did lose to Aston Villa 1-0, and I think more than Arsenal, the relegation race looks more enticing in my opinion, because looking at the relegation zone, Aston Villa and Watford are level on points, but because Aston Villa beat Arsenal, they are on minus 26 score difference and Watford are on minus 27, which leaves Aston Villa in 17th position. Now, Bournemouth are still in this as well, because if Aston Villa lose their last game of the season and Arsenal manage to beat Watford as well, and Bournemouth win their game, Bournemouth could potentially be into 17th. So it's a very, very good looking end to the season. Aston Villa obviously play West Ham. Obviously, it's a winnable game for Aston Villa, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And looking at Watford's game, obviously they're playing Arsenal, which we're doing the preview for today. And who are Bournemouth playing? They're playing Everton. So again, Everton aren't a team that have been particularly great or particularly consistent. So Bournemouth will fancy their chances. And in their last game, Bournemouth, they actually played alright. So, you know, you can't rule them out. However, looking at Arsenal's perspective, because obviously this is a preview for Arsenal versus Watford, if they win this game, the highest they could finish is 8th position. Obviously, that is not enough for Europa League football. I'm not sure 8th is Europa League. I'm not too sure about that. Is it? Is it not? I'm not 100% sure on that, but we will have to need Sheffield United and Burnley to lose their games for that to happen. Obviously, one of them will probably pick up some points, so it looks like Arsenal will be finishing 9th or 10th, which is basically mid-table, which is very bad for Arsenal this season. However, this bad season could turn into a very good season if we do win the FA Cup. Obviously, I'll be doing a preview for that soon enough, and hopefully that will be a very interesting game in the Cup final, which is on the 1st of August. A brilliant start to the month that is, and obviously then we got the end. That's the end of the season after the Cup final. So this game against Watford doesn't mean much for Arsenal, to be honest. I think it's just a way to build some momentum, build some confidence going into that Cup final. Doesn't mean much in terms of the league now. It's basically finished. It's a dead game. Aston Villa and Watford were both pretty much dead games, and yeah, we have lost their game to Aston Villa, but on one hand I am happy for Aston Villa because I do want them to stay up. I am supporting them in a way, and it's good to see them out of the relegation zone for quite a while now. And moving more into an Arsenal perspective now, I'm going to go straight to the predicted lineup now. I do think we're going to rest quite a few players for this game because we do have an eye on that cup final, and I'd hope we don't pick up any injuries. That would be the main thing here. So we're going to get straight into the predicted lineup now. Starting off, Emi Martinez. He's been playing very, very well. Had quite a quiet game against Aston Villa because they didn't have loads and loads of chances, to be honest, and did have a few good saves, did what he does usually, Emi Martinez, and he couldn't have done anything for the goal we conceded. I think the ball went to the right of Cedric, so I don't think Emi Martinez could have dived there in time. I don't think any goalkeeper would have been able to. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Emi Martinez in the net. Moving into the back three now. Now this is interesting because I'm not sure what Mikel Arteta will do considering he has that game in the cup final to come. I'm going to go with Holding, Luiz and Tierney. Holding playing on the right and Luiz playing in the middle and Tierney playing on the left. Obviously Tierney did not play the game against Aston Villa. He did come on late on, but again he didn't have much of an impact in that game. Obviously he didn't have enough time to make an impact. So I do think Kieran Tierney will come into this game. There is a week between the Watford game and the cup final, so I do think Kieran Tierney will be playing in this game, and I think maybe later on in the game he'll come off or something, but I do think Kieran Tierney will start this game in preparation for that cup final. Luiz will probably keep his place in the side, and Rob Holding will come in. I don't want to see Kolasinac near that side. He's not done any justice for himself, and I do think he has to be sold this summer in my opinion. And in regards to Rob Holding, again, we don't know what's going to happen with Squadron Mustafi. Will he be available for the cup final? So Rob Holding, he really has a chance here to try and prove himself and play in that cup final. Obviously, remember what he did in the 2017 final. He had Diego Costa in his back pocket, to be honest, and he did very well in that final. I remember watching that one. So that is the back three I'm going to go with. Right wing back, I'm going to go with Hector Bellerin. He didn't play in that game against Aston Villa, and Cedric did play in that game. I thought Cedric was quite poor, so I do think he needs to come out of the side for a bit. He can't play in the cup final because he's cup tied, but I think for him for the rest of the season. I think it's it now. I don't think he'll play in the rest of the season, and yeah, he has signed a long-term deal, so he'll be part of the future of this club. And yeah, he just didn't do very well against Aston Villa, to be honest. He's quite poor, to say it bluntly. And yeah, I'm going to go with Hector Bellerin. Hopefully he can do himself some justice to play in that final against Chelsea. So going into the left wing back role, I'm going to go with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Now, I am looking at this in the sense that I do want Ainsley Maitland-Niles to play in that cup final. But again, if you want someone to play that completely out of position, because Niles plays on the right, and against City he's supposed to play on the left because that's what Arteta wanted, and he did really well there. So I think in preparation for that, he has to start in the left wing back role for me, and that's why I'm going to put Ainsley Maitland-Niles in that position. In the two midfield roles, I am going to go with Xhaka and Ceballos. Again, these two will probably play in the cup final as well, but I do want them to have a little run out here. Ceballos did play against Aston Villa, but Xhaka came on in the second half, so I do think in this game Ceballos will come off in the second half. I think maybe that's what Arteta is looking at doing. But again, these two need to have a bit of preparation going into that Chelsea game, and hopefully they do keep going, playing really well, and I have no problem putting Xhaka and Ceballos in there. I thought Torreira is quite poor, and I don't think Guendouzi will come back into the side. So Xhaka and Ceballos is my midfield two. Going into the front three, I'm going to go with Saka, Aubameyang and Pepe. I do want to see Saka a bit high up the field. He hasn't played a bit of a higher role in quite a while, so I do want to see Saka in that left wing position. Again, he has been playing off the right, but I do want to see him on that left to see how he does, because thing is, Ainsley Maitland-Niles can't put crosses in. Because we saw that in the City game, he got down the left hand side, he just can't cross with his left foot. This is why we need Saka on that left hand side to overlap. Maybe that's what Arteta could do in the cup final. We'll just have to see when we get there. But I think this could be a good little tryout to see what we can do against Watford, playing Saka on that left hand side. And Aubameyang, again, he has to take like 4 goals if he wants to get ahead of Vardy or something like that. And yeah, I don't think he will win the Golden Boot this season, but you never know. You never know with Aubameyang, do you? And on the right hand side, I do want Pepe to play because he needs a bit of confidence going into that Chelsea game, and hopefully he can start that final. Lacazette, I am going to give a rest. Eddie Nketiah didn't do any justice either. And yeah, that is going to be my predicted lineup. Martinez, Holding, Luis Tini. I'm going to have Bellerin, Xhaka, Ceballos and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And up front as the three, I'm going to go with Saka, Aubameyang and Pepe. In terms of the predicted score now, again, I just can't see how this one was going, because Watford, they're an easy side to pick out on their bad days, but they are fighting for their Premier League lives. So there's the same situation against Aston Villa. We have to be up for it, and if we're not up for it, we're going to get beaten this game against Watford, and that won't bring good confidence going into that game against Chelsea. And we need some good momentum going into it. Obviously, the Aston Villa game did break our momentum, but hopefully we can bring it back in this game against Watford. I do think this is going to be a win for us. I do think we have enough quality to win against Watford. I do think they'll crumble. I do think they're going to play toe-to-toe to us and try and just take the game to us, and in that case we can just counter-attack and score lots of goals. But for me in this game, I'm going to give Arsenal a 2-0 win here, and hopefully we can get the job done against Watford going into that game against Chelsea in the cup final. Again, everything is looking forward to that cup final, because that is our only chance of Europa League football, and most importantly, a trophy. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.